So today, we're going to dig into Fogvid 24. But listen, this isn't just about debunking some wild story you might have seen online. Nope. We're going to try to understand what a truly bizarre conspiracy about engineered fog actually reveals about our world right now. And, about us.
I mean, this is the kind of thing that just took over social media back in late 2024. All of a sudden, a simple weather event was being framed as this warning, a sign that something sinister was lurking just out of sight. It was a really dramatic claim that just plugged right into this growing feeling of distrust.
And it all started with what people were calling an unnatural fog. What began as just a really eerie, kind of strange weather event pretty soon sparked a full-blown viral panic as something way darker started to take shape in the glow of our phone screens.
And the claims, they got incredibly specific, almost like something out of a movie. This wasn't just fog anymore. We're talking a toxic, engineered substance. People were seriously talking about smart dust for surveillance, secret drones, military aircraft, even exotic pathogens. It went from a weather report to a sci-fi thriller, like in the blink of an eye.
So this, right here, became the central question. Was the weather itself being weaponized? Were our skies literally being painted with surveillance tech? Or something even worse? I mean, it's a terrifying thought, right? And it's that very question that fueled the entire Fogvid 24 panic, pushing people to look for answers absolutely anywhere they could find them. Okay, so amidst all that suspicion, what were the actual facts? Let's take a minute to separate the science from the speculation and really unpack what was going on behind all that fear.
And here's where you see the huge disconnect. On one side, you have these sensational claims of smart dust and pathogens, and on the other, the reality was, simple light scattering. Secret drones? Nope, just really high humidity. Weaponized weather? Actually, it was just calm wind and something called a temperature inversion.
And that common weather event, a temperature inversion, is actually a really simple concept when you break it down. Basically, a layer of warmer air acts like a lid, trapping the cooler air below it. And when that happens, it traps moisture and pollutants, which is what creates that incredibly thick, persistent fog. It's a totally normal, well-understood thing in meteorology. Nothing more. And look, the expert consensus was just overwhelming. Meteorologists confirmed the conditions were absolutely perfect for this kind of fog. Fact-checkers couldn't find a shred of evidence for the drone or aircraft claims. And lab analyses of air and water samples, they showed zero signs of any exotic biologics. The conclusion from every single credible source was unanimous. The fog was just fog.
And that brings us to the real question here, doesn't it? If the science is so crystal clear, why did so many people jump on the conspiracy bandwagon? Why was there such widespread panic over something so ordinary? Now, this is where the story gets truly fascinating.
And this gets us to the real mystery. It's not about what was in the fog. It's about what the story we told ourselves about the fog reveals about us and about our modern culture of distrust.
There's almost a playbook for this kind of panic. First, something unsettling happens that we can't immediately explain, like that crazy thick fog. The human mind hates a vacuum, so rumor immediately rushes in to provide answers. Then, you throw social media into the mix, and it's like pouring gasoline on a spark. And just like that, a full-blown conspiracy is born, a story that replaces random, chaotic nature with a narrative of intentional human design.
And as much as we like to think this is some new 21st century problem, it's really not. This pattern of seeing deliberate evil behind confusing events is deeply human. For centuries, people have blamed eclipses, plagues, and famines on angry gods, on witches, on secret enemies. We have always had this habit of creating stories to make sense of a world that feels completely out of our control.
And this quote right here points to a fascinating historical parallel. Because while our technology has obviously changed a lot, our social dynamics, maybe not so much. The very same mechanisms that let misinformation spread like wildfire today, like our digital echo chambers, have actually been around for a long, long time.
And this painting is a brilliant example. It's called Politics in an Oyster House, and it shows this young guy passionately arguing his point to a totally captivated crowd in a tavern. That tavern, with its closed doors and like-minded people, that was the 19th century version of a social media echo chamber, a place where questionable ideas could be shared and reinforced with zero challenge.
So at the end of the day, this is what it all comes down to. Fogvid 24 was never really about the fog itself. The weather was completely ordinary. It was our story about it. The story we crafted about distrust,
Digital rumors and our deep-seated need for someone to blame, that was the extraordinary part.
And that's the thought I really want to leave you with. In a world full of complex and, let's face it, sometimes scary events, it can be really comforting to invent a simple story with a clear villain. But what does that need? That deep desire to believe that chaos is secretly being controlled by some malicious hand? What does that truly reveal about us?